watching ERi-TV, dear viewers. Welcome to our news broadcast. First, a quick look at the major headlines tonight. Integrated Information Network System in Central Region. Seminar to tourism service provision institutions. Malawi gets 2.9 million cholera vaccines as outbreak spreads. U.S. benefits $230 billion from crisis in Ukraine. In our domestic news, Mr. Tedros Adhanom, Director General of Statistics and Cartographic Information System in the Central Region, reported encouraging integrated information network system being put in place, connecting the subzones and villages in the region, indicating that in the past 18 years, efforts have been exerted to put in place the network system to connect the central office with the 13 subzones of the region. Mr. Tedros said that this year, the necessary infrastructure has been set up to connect the subzones of Barikh, Galanafli, and Sarajagha with the central office. Mr. Tedros went on to say that the population of the three subzones is about 200,000 and that comprises 1/3 of the total population of the central region, and that the installation of the information network system will have significant contribution in efficient and timely administrative service to the public. The residents of the three subzones on their part said that previously they were compelled to go to the central office to get services, and with the current setup of the network system in their backyard, their problems have been alleviated. The Tourism Office in Gash Barka region organized seminar on 5 November in Barantu to owners of tourism service provision institutions focusing on providing efficient and timely service. The seminar was mainly focused on handling customers, discipline and reception, as well as putting in place the necessary facility, among others. Calls were also made during the seminar by owners and workers of tourism service provision institutions to give priority to the health of customers, to abide by the noble culture and societal values, and play due part in the development of the tourism sector. Pointing out that the service that the institutions provide is the reflection of the culture of hospitality and societal values in their areas, Mr. Simrat Gavramedhin, Head of Research, Resources Control and Promotion at the Tourism Branch in the Gashbark region, called for practicing humble approach to customers and provide efficient service, pointing out that ensuring the capacity of social service provision institutions is part and parcel of the effort to develop the tourism sector in the region. Colonel Hamid Yusuf, Director General of Tourism in the region, called for providing fair and efficient service and contribute their part in the development of the sector. There are 3,000 tourism service providing institutions in the Gashbarka region alone. Training on music and poetry was given to 47 youth members of Zinnar Cultural Troupe, including 11 girls, by the Department of Culture and Sports in the Central Region. According to Mr. Siraj Mohammed, Head of Culture in the region, 30 youth members were provided with training in music and 17 in poetry. Mr. Mohammed Saleh Hussain, teacher and author, on his part, called for organizing long-term training programs in various fields of arts, and the trainees on their part commended the opportunity they were provided with and further expressed readiness to upgrade their capacity practically on the ground. That was our domestic news. Please stay tuned for the international right after the short break. Malawi's Health Ministry will soon launch a second vaccination campaign after receiving 2.9 million doses of the oral cholera vaccine as the outbreak spreads. The World Health Organization (WHO) facilitated the vaccine's procurement with funds from the Global Vaccine Alliance (Gavi). It comes as the outbreak spreads to 27 of Malawi's 29 districts, killing more than 200 people and infecting 6,868 others since March, according to government data. The most affected age groups are between 21 to 30 years. Males are excessively affected. An earlier cholera vaccination campaign in May reached more than 1.5 million people. The outbreak was first reported in Malawi's southern region, but currently the most affected districts are in the north. U.S. defense contractors reportedly stand to gain the most from $230 billion in new defense spending commitments by EU nations. Yahoo News has identified a major beneficiary of the Russia-Ukraine slugfest, the U.S. military-industrial complex, which is reaping a windfall even as the bloody conflict causes economic havoc, energy shortages, and a looming food crisis around the world. As the media outlet reported on Saturday, EU nations have committed to about $230 billion in new weapons purchases since the war in Ukraine started in February. U.S. defense contractors are poised to land the lion's share of those orders, given their dominance as suppliers to European militaries, Yahoo added. Many European nations turn to U.S. arms makers for more than half of all their weapons purchases. Yahoo cited data from the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, the SIPRI, to show examples of the U.S. dominance in European arsenals. For instance, U.S.-made arms account for 95% of the weapons purchases by the Netherlands from 2017 to 2021. The ratios were 83% U.S. weaponry for Norway, 77% for the UK, and 72% for Italy. Global warming is currently driving a huge increase in megafires across the Arctic, a new report warned. The Siberian Arctic experienced an unusual number of fires throughout 2019 and 2020. In 2020 alone, fires destroyed an area almost as large as Belgium, with recent fire rates in the Siberian Arctic exceeding those of the past 4 decades. The number of forest fires was 7 times higher than the average since 1982. The study conducted by the Spanish National Research Council, the CSIC, found raising concerns within the scientific community as the Arctic has large areas of permafrost, a permanently frozen layer of subsoil that accumulates large amounts of carbon. The authors concluded that while the areas burned in 2019 and 2020 could be exceptional events, recent temperatures trends and projections scenarios suggest that by the end of 21st century, large fires such as those of 2019 and 2020 will be frequent if temperatures continue to increase at the current rate. The 256 million tons of carbon dioxide that were released are similar to the annual of emissions in Spain. One other key consequence of those rising temperatures is an increase in storms and lightning, both of which have been quite rare in the Arctic region until now. Please stay tuned now for a recap of tonight's headlines. Integrated Information Network System in the Central Region. Seminar to Tourism Service Provision Institutions. Malawi gets 2.9 million cholera vaccines as outbreak spreads. U.S. benefits $230 billion from crisis in Ukraine. And that was our news for tonight, dear viewers. It is good night from us.